Hey everybody, Desert Guardian here. Today I've got something really nice to show you from Dan Wesson Firearms, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what's inside the box. Alright, so let's take a look here. Today we have from Dan Wesson a 1911, and this is the Silverback. This is a 10mm 1911 by Dan Wesson. So I'm going to go ahead and set it aside here. So of course we've got spare mag, your wrapping paper, we got lock, we got books, we got all the information in the nice locked box here. I'm going to set that aside. And let's take a look at the 10mm Razorback. So this is the only two-tone 1911 offered by Dan Wesson. So a little bit of trivia there. Now Dan Wesson had been making some of the world-class revolvers since about 1968. Built revolvers, 1911s, all the way up till 2005 when Dan Wesson Firearms was purchased by CZ. And CZ is the world's largest firearm producer. So that was a pretty good opportunity for Dan Wesson to get to a point where he could have a lot of backing, produce more guns, and really take the Dan Wesson line to the next level. So like I said, this is the Silverback. It is a 10mm. It's a standard size 1911 with a 5-inch barrel. This is the only two-tone pistol made by Dan Wesson. I think I already said that. We've got the nitride black finish on the frame and of course the stainless on the slide. Now with that stainless, sometimes that can reflect some light. So there's a lot of cool custom things done with this 1911. First off, it's got a serrated top rib on it. So as you can see, you're not going to get any reflection off the rib here. So when you're, acquiring a target, no matter where the sun is at the time, it's not going to reflect up off of that and get in your eyes. And you can also see it has adjustable tritium night sights. So, you get some high-end business right from the jump. Hey, look at that barrel. It says 10mm right there and match right there. So it's a match grade 10mm barrel. No front serrations on this, just rear. It's very classic looking 1911. So no front serrations, but it does have a good grip, slanted rear serration on it. The dust cover has a beautiful ball cut to it. It's very smooth, very precise. So that's one thing that Dan Wesson has always done. I mean, with like the Ed Brown bobtail and other guns that they've made, the Valor, everything is very precise and very beautiful, for lack of a better word. I mean, it's almost like people put in the time and effort to turn just a regular old 1911 into a work of art. So a couple other observations. This has some nice, black and gray G10 grips here. Good grip on them, not overly aggressive, but they're not going to slip out of your hands. It does have a target hammer, the skeletonized hammer there. It does have the extended tail in the rear. It has a long trigger on it. So some 1911, some of the older ones come with a short trigger versus a long trigger. This is a long trigger. Now, make no mistake, that doesn't mean it's a long travel trigger. Make sure we're clear. There's very little travel to it. So there's all of your take up right there. And very, very crisp break on it. I really like the break of a 1911. That's something that can't be duplicated in all these striker fire pistols. You've seen a lot of my builds with the Glock, Smith & Wesson, things like that, where I'll replace the triggers, the springs, the action, and no matter how hard I try, I can never get a break like that. So this has got single-sided safety, doesn't have an ambidextrous safety on it. There are parts available if you wanted to put an ambidextrous safety, you can. 1911s I love because you can build them. There's lots of parts out there. I might as well have a frequent buyer's card at Brownells for all the parts I put in my 1911s. So it does not have a humped back strap, has a straight back strap, and it does have that 25 line per inch checkering on that mainspring housing, so it's a very positive grip there. Here's one of my favorite things about it. 25 line per inch checkering on the front strap. This is something that you don't see in a lot of 1911s. A lot of high-end ones do, but then again, a lot of high-end ones don't. So having that checkering in the front, I'm going to take this ring off here because I don't want to get into it, but you get a really, I mean, if I squeeze that hard enough, you're gonna, probably can't see it on camera, but there's lines all over my fingers here. Make no mistake, you're gonna get plenty of grip out of that. I mean, even the mag release has the 25 line per inch checkering on it. This is a 10mm. So for those of you not familiar with the 10mm, it's a little bit narrower than a 45 and a bit taller than a 9mm. So it's a formidable round. It definitely makes a loud bang and puts a big hole in things. So you've got 8-round magazines. They do have a nice base on them, nice rubber base. 2 8-round magazines come with it. Now, for those of you familiar with the Dan Wesson line, the Silverback is built to the same tolerances and at the same quality level as the Valor, which is their really high-end pistol. Standard GI return spring on it. So disassembly on this is going to be easier than some of the other ones on the market, say a Springfield Armory, where they have the giant one-piece guide rod in it. This one, you're pushing in, you're turning your barrel nut, you're popping it out, pulling out your slide stop and taking it apart. I'm not going to take this one apart. Truth be told, this is not mine. This one's on loan to me from Ted's shooting range, so I'm not going to take it apart. I'd love to. There's another thing that I noticed about it. The recessed takedown pin. I absolutely love that. I've actually taken some of my personal 1911s, taken them to a machine shop, had them machine the frame down and shave down the takedown bar there because I wanted it to be flush like this. So it's a recessed, I mean, you can feel the bump with your finger, but it's recessed. You're not going to feel it. You're not going to feel that big lump on the side. So it's little things like that. The checkering, the rib up top, the sights, the beautiful lines of the ball cut. You know, it's what sets it apart from other, you know, off-the-shelf 1911s. You know, it's really nice. It's made in Norwich, New York. By Dan Wesson Firearms. Like I said, it's owned by CZ. They're the parent company now, but Dan Wesson, it's Dan Wesson through and through. Yeah, it is beautiful. And I highly recommend getting out and putting your hands on a Dan Wesson. Wow, I really love that checkering on the front and rear. It is such a positive grip. Being a 10mm, another thing that you'll notice is this return spring. It's definitely stiffer than, you know, say that 9mm range officer that I had at, or even some of my 45s. It's got a stiffer spring in there because you are packing quite a punch with a 10mm round. But yeah, that's it. That's the Dan Wesson Silverback. Really enjoy the look of this pistol. I'll wipe some of those fingerprints off there, and there we go. Beautiful two-tone finish. I love that stainless upper, and I love all the details that are put into this. You know, this is getting essentially a custom 1911 without spending a custom price. Don't get me wrong, this is not cheap. This is not an entry-level 1911. If you have the opportunity to own this as an entry-level 1911, then you're doing something right, because this thing is absolutely gorgeous, beautiful, very well made, very well warranted. Dan Wesson, great man, great company. Yeah, so there it is. That is the Silverback in 10mm from Dan Wesson. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about this beautiful gun, feel free to leave them below. I'll get back to you whenever I can, and I like to try and answer questions as we go. Also, hit that subscribe button. You know, I'm going to have more videos up. Like to get some pistols, some rifles, some different everyday carry gear, some different tips and tricks, some gunsmithing, some assembly. You know, I'm going to have regular videos up, so hit that subscribe button. I can use all the support I can get. But like I said, questions, comments, concerns, leave them below. Mash that subscribe button. And that's it for now. Desert Guardian, out.